This is the President McCormack Podcast with your host, Mark McCormack.
I got here. Let me tell you, I got a story for you.
I was going to ask you that literally right off the bat. I saw your post.
Barely made it actually on my flight. So, we travel quite a bit. Me and my wife out of, Portland all the time. We come to Utah quite often, obviously, because this is where I'm from. Obviously, as you can see here, hopefully. Let's go Utes. So yeah, we always are catching that 5 a.m. flight. It's like 5:50 is when it leaves, gets here at 8:30. Right?
Gotcha.
So it's real, it's pretty convenient because you get the whole day here. And we always catch the red eye back home too, like the 10:30 p.m. or 11 p.m. or something like that back to Portland. Yeah. But yeah, this morning, we got up and it was funny because I always like to leave a little bit earlier. That's how I roll. Like I don't mess around. Like I've never missed a flight before, and I like take a lot of flights, and so like that's kind of my thing, is to be like pretty early where I can like chill. And so last night my wife was like, what time you want to wake up and go? And I'm like, let's go by 4. And she was like, 4? Because it's 5:50 is when it leaves. We live like 15 minutes away from the airport. And so I was like, okay, well, let's do 4:30 then. Fine. Okay, 4:30, cool. We can cut it close. And then we drive to the airport, and right when we get there, my wife's like, I forgot my passport. And I was like, shit, because she has to have her passport to travel around here, being a foreigner. So it's like, so we got all the way there and it was already 4:55 or something like that. I mean, anyway, we scooted home quick, like got home really, really fast, and made it back. And still, I was like, we parked at the airport, which I haven't done before. But once we got there, I was like, I don't think we're going to make it. I was pretty sure we were just going to go to the front desk and be like, hey, Delta, hook it up. Yada, because like they love me. So I'm a premium member there. So they always hook it up. So I'm not too worried, but I was like, oh, we'll probably get a later flight today. But once we got in the airport, we were like, oh shit, we got like 25 minutes before it says it's taking off. Like they've already boarded like everybody, but like, let's just try. And so we went through the security, which didn't take too long. And then we fucking just ran all the way to D9, made it in time, like with 5 minutes to spare, even a little sweat, coming on the plane. so that was good. So I'm glad, because I wouldn't have been here with you right now otherwise.
Exactly. So, I'm super glad. I was really excited. I mean, you came. Are you coming to Utah just to see my play tonight?
The play and the Utah game as well. So
okay, good.
Little combo.
Hopefully. Yeah.
We're season ticket holders. So even though I don't live here, still try to come to most of the Utah games.
Oh,
so
nice.
I love sports, man. Like, that's my shit. So
now, who are they playing this weekend? Is it UCLA?
UCLA.
Okay, UCLA.
Yeah, and I just want to pound them into oblivion because, one time, little fun fact, went to the Rose Bowl a few years back. Not the Rose Bowl, but the actual stadium, because that's where UCLA plays.
Yeah.
And went there. And man, these guys in front of me were some real dickheads, man. Like they were not cool at all. They were like giving me mad shit, like for the way I was dressed or something. It was weird. Like, and I was like, man, I hate these guys so much. And then we ended up beating them by like 40 points, and they all left in the third quarter, and I was very happy. So ever since then, I got a little bit of a vendetta against UCLA. I'm like, motherfuckers. Like, so yeah.
Dude, you know what? I don't like UCLA either. Oh, you say whatever you want, bro. Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, I don't like UCLA either. I'll tell you what. Well, the fans, I should say, the school's great, whatever. But
I'm sure their school's fine.
So in the Rose Bowl, so that's what the stadium's called, like you mentioned. There's a big chain link fence that goes down between like the two student sections, I guess. Is probably, have you ever, is that the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we were over there one time.
Well, the shit's empty. I mean, nobody's there.
Yeah, it's empty a lot. So there was this dude that was sitting on the other side of the chain link fence, and he just talked shit the whole time. And he's just like, oh, the prophets don't approve. The prophets don't approve. And I was like, and like, normally I just let people say whatever, because after 20 minutes they just shut up, because if you don't respond, whatever. Dude, bro, it was like the third quarter and I just finally lost it. And it's not like me. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. And dude, like, I was with some family too. They're like, whoa, and he's like, oh, you don't like that? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you make no sense. It's not a church school, idiot.
Yeah, right.
If it was BYU, you'd make sense. This makes no sense what you're saying. You're an absolute moron.
Try to lump
I
us
just
all in.
laid into this dude. And I had the same thing. I'm like, I don't like UCLA. It was like one dude. It's like, you couldn't even been a fan. You know what I mean? And I just hate this guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I'm all for that. So yeah, they do that all the time, because people just lump us in. They're like Utah Mormons, like bunch of wives, right? They did that. We went to the Florida game last year. Me and my brother did.
Oh, nice.
And so we went to Florida because it's like, oh, we're playing an SEC team. This is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, gotta be there. We had a pretty good team, and like Florida not as good. So we're like, maybe we can win even. Kind of expecting
that
to.
game, we almost won that too.
We literally gave gave it away to him.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I was a bit safe because believe me, I was shit talking up in there, dude. I mean, one little section of Utah fans and the rest are all Florida people, and those people are rabid. And I'll tell you, well, it really is the worst place in the world, though. Like, I don't know why anybody lives in Gainesville. It's so like sweaty and like just I felt like I was in a hot tub for 5 hours. It was not fun. Yeah. And so, but I feel like it was a bit of a blessing that Utah lost, because if they won, I'm pretty sure I would have got jumped. Like, I'm pretty sure there was going to be a lot of pissed off, Florida students. Like, so it was a little bit of a grace that we actually lost, because then I feel like they let us off easy, because I was saying some things that I won't even repeat on here, but I'll tell you what, it was fun. So,
dude, that cracks you up. Yeah, that's when you gotta like wait it out in the stadium, right, for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Get
sure.
them all out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I'll tell you one funny time. I was at a Utah game. We went to Notre Dame. Did you go to that game where we went to Notre Dame?
Did Utah play against Notre Dame?
They did. Yeah, it's been a minute.
That was a minute.
Probably
well, you're old, a little bit older.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
I mean, I'm wise. That's why I look like this, but I am quite a bit younger than this guy.
So yeah, I was gonna say it's probably like 9 years ago. Probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
Anyway, so
you went to Notre Dame. We
went to Notre Dame, right?
That's
so I was
cool,
like,
though.
and I do a lot of business.
Touchdown Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. By
yeah.
So we do a lot of business in Indiana. So I actually hit my guys up in Indiana who are all like in their 60s, right? They own like manufacturing plants and stuff. And I said, hey, do you guys want to go to this game? It was months away, right? They're like, oh, absolutely. And they're all one was a Notre Dame alum, and the rest of them just like Notre Dame, basically, right? So they ended up getting me tickets. They're like, oh, we can get amazing tickets. So they got me the tickets, and then like it was crazy too because Utah traveled pretty well to that game, and we were pretty good that year.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame had like lost like 4 or 5 games in a row.
Yeah,
it was like kind of a weird thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna go there and win, and it was a dreary day. Right, it was like November or something, right? It was like that. It's like what Notre Dame's like, Then you have that touchdown Jesus and like all this old school tradition, and like the players like walk forever to get to the game, and through like the student section and all this kind of stuff. So, and by the way, have you ever been there?
No, I haven't. No.
Bro, you're sitting on 6-inch planks the whole
really?
damn game,
it's
dude.
Just
I was like,
old school.
dude, my legs are around a bro. Some other dude's
they
legs.
want to just fit as many people in there as possible,
yeah. and they
like,
do.
Hold on to the tradition, right? They're like, we can't update this shit.
Oh, it's like hot dogs, sausage, bag of chips, Sprite, and Coke. That's it. It's like, what in the hell? Like, where's the VIP
Feels
shit?
Like you're in like the 1850s or something. Transported back in time.
They might have put a special out with peanuts or something. You know what I mean? And so
special. We got peanuts today. It's a special day.
so you're like me, right? We're huge, right? So I can wear whatever the hell I want. So I'm like head to toe in red. Yeah. Right. Just like started raining. I pull out a red poncho. I was like ready to go, dude. I was like, and I'm literally nothing but Notre Dame fans. Right. So we sit down and I'm just like joshing with people, and I'm like, so how many points you guys think we're going to whoop your ass by this week or this day today? And they're like, I don't know about that, son, like kind of thing. And I'm like literally in the alumni section, kind of just a little outside the corner, right where the touchdown is. Right. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I'm thinking like, I mean, you're okay. Maybe 36-0, maybe 40-0. I don't know. I mean, we have a weird passing game. I'm just talking mad shit, right? And one of the ushers who was like literally 90 years old, because I was probably like 5-6 people in. He's kind of like smiling, just like nice old guy, right? Just super nice. And so we kind of sit down and I start being nice to people, like, hey, where you guys from? Did you go to school? I didn't actually go to Utah, just, blah, blah, blah. I kind of explain.
Just live there. We're just all big fans. we're like really lowly educated, but we're in for the football.
Oh yeah. And just kind of being nice. I don't want to like actually fight anything. I mean, most of these are literally 50s, 60s, right? So I was freaking 32 at the time, 33, right? Yeah. And, dude, I think we scored the first touchdown. And it was pretty easy, like 4 or 5 plays. Bam, we're in, like on the kickoff.
Feeling pretty good.
And I'm like, hey, you won't need a drink? Can I get you guys anything? And they're just like ignoring me basically. Then Notre Dame came back and slapped the shit out of us, dude, like 40-7.
Oh,
and it was like a beat down of all beat downs. And I was like, oh. And
the struggle bus.
After they went up like 14-7 or something, right? Like they were kind of giving me crap. I'm like, don't worry, we got it. You guys have no idea what we got back there. Whittingham's gonna, figure this out, But then I was pretty jovial with everyone at that point, right? So no one was like really mad at me, And then by the third quarter, it was like, well, you got us. Like, we can't move the damn ball, And so at the end of it, and, everyone was just kind of like shaking my hand. And it's like, oh, it's good seeing you, man. I hope you come see another game, blah, blah, blah. If we ever travel out there, it'd be nice to see you or whatever, just like football talk, nice guys. Yeah. I go to the end And this usher hugs me, right? Just puts his arm around me. And he goes, I hope the next time you come to a game, you have a better outcome. And I looked at him.
Backhanded compliment.
I'm like, I don't know if this is backhanded or if he's
aggressive as fuck.
Yeah, or if he's like the nicest dude in the world. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, right. You're like, well, it seemed nice, but it doesn't feel perfect, you know?
So then I left, and I was just like, well, I got smacked by Notre Dame emotionally and on the field.
I mean, that shit is fun though, it's like, and my wife's getting used to it right now so she's from Europe, right? We got married.
Explain that to everyone. So.
I'll go into that in just a second.
Okay,
I'll give you the lowdown, no doubt. But she's trying to get used to me watching sports. Like she likes watching me sports because I'm so passionate and I get into it. Like I just have a lot of fun. Yeah. But also like if there's opposing fans, I will shit talk, and like I'm not trying to fight them in the end, but at the same time, it's like once again we're big dudes, so like I'm not really worried about it. I'm like nobody's gonna step up to me really, you know? And so like, but I shit talk a lot and she gets worried sometimes like that I'm going to start a fight or something. But most of the time at the end, we're like all good friends and all that,
That's
so
the goal. Yeah.
It's, it's good natured fun. So, but I will give you my wife, the story of meeting my wife because that's a good one too. And obviously a big part of my life. So, I got married about a year ago to my wife. She's from Slovakia. So, you're like, oh, how'd you guys meet? A mail order bride? No, not this time. So actually here's what happened. So back in 2019, I was traveling through Europe. Like I said, I travel all the time. So traveling through Europe, I was in Portugal, big fan of Portugal, lived there for a couple of years, did the Mormon mission thing. I speak Portuguese, all that fun stuff. And, so I went back there to hang out, meet some friends, whatever, explore the area. And when I'm out there in Portugal, of course, I hop on Tinder because I was like, doing my thing back then. So just like matching, whatever. And I matched with my wife. I matched with her in Portugal, an island called Madeira, with the big city of Funchal. That's where Cristiano Ronaldo's from, for any of you soccer fans out there. It's a beautiful island. It's like Hawaii, but half the cost. So it's a great place. Yeah. So I matched with her there, but by the time I got there, because I was kind of scouting area before I got there. And so by the time I got there, she was already gone, right? So it's like, oh, she's 1,000 miles away. And I was like, shit, dude, like I wanted to message this girl, see what's going on. And so I messaged her anyway. I was like, whatever, I'll still shoot my shot. So I messaged her and I'm like, hey, did you already leave? Are you like, were you just visiting here? Are you home now? She's like, yeah, I'm home. And I said, where's home? And she says, Prague. And I'm like, I'm going to be there in like 10 days. It was my next stop on my itinerary. And I was like, wow, that's cool, And so we messaged for the next few days there, like kind of said, hey, whenever I get there, we'll go out to lunch, dinner, date, whatever. Right. Yeah. And so, then when I got there to Prague, and the reason I was in Prague was to see this awesome EDM concert from Above and Beyond, which was amazing, by the way, as well. Yeah. So also shout out to Above and Beyond, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been in Prague at all. Like it wasn't on my radar otherwise. So I get there and I was there for like 4 or 5 days and I hit her up every day. I was like, hey, you want to go to lunch, get a beer, go dinner? And like, she kept putting me off, right? She kept being like, oh, I've got this going on, that. I'm like, what the hell? Like we just talked for like a week, right? And then finally on the last day, she said, yes, like she'll come out. And I was like, hell yeah. So we went out, had a few beers, saw this beautiful, I don't know, have you seen those churches with like where they do the projection, like design stuff on them?
Oh yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah. Outside, so that happened to be going on that night. Very romantic, like nice little date that I didn't even plan. And so anyway, we hit it off, right? And then of course the next day I leave. And I went to Budapest the next day. That was my last stop, and then went home. But I kept messaging her every day because there was something special there, real spark. And so then I got home and like a few months in to just kind of messaging all the time, talking, she wasn't great at English at the time either. And like, it's pretty incredible how much better she is now. Like she's like pretty fluent now. But we talked and chatted and whatever. And then March rolled around. This was, in October 2019. March rolled around and we had a trip planned. So I flew out to Prague and we did a 10-day road trip through Poland. And that was our second date. So yeah, really, really ballsy move there on both of us, because it's like, that can go really good or really bad, right? Like 24/7, 10 days. And it went really amazing, obviously. And like, I was like, I loved solo traveling so much, like big fan of solo traveling. I meet lots of friends, stay in hostels, like meet people from all over the world. Like I really like that vibe. But she made it better, right? And I was like, oh, I like this even better than what I've been doing, you know? Yeah. And so yeah, it was really cool. And then of course that was right when Corona was starting. I'll call it Corona because that's what it was at the time, right? Yeah. And because it was popping up in Europe already, like a little bit earlier, right? Yeah. And people were like, well, that was this. And I'm like, oh no. And then I was like one of the last flights home. It was like March 12th or something like that. It was like one of the last flights out of Europe back home. And then of course the whole fucking shit, you know, just shut down, you know, and she could not come to the US. I could not go to Czech Republic at all for like 2 years there. But we figured it out. So, you know, we went all these other cool countries. We figured out, hey, where can we both go in and out of, right? Along the way. Because there was plenty of countries like that. You just had to do a little research, you know, because whenever I hear people like, oh, you know, we had this trip planned at this time, but COVID, you know, I'm always like, yeah, well, you didn't try hard enough, you know, because like we went to Croatia. That was the first country that reopened for us in 2020. Yeah. End of the summer in 2020, Croatia. And then after that, we went to Colombia. And then after that, we went to Greece. And then after that, I finally got to go to Czech Republic. And I went to the Czech Republic, stayed with her, met her friends. She cooked for me, and it was done. Like that was the end of the story. Like she cooked for me, and then I met her family the next week, and those two things, that was what sent me over the edge. I'm like, I need to marry this girl because she's just amazing on all fronts. So, that's way cool. But yeah. And then of course we got married like a year and a half ago, like last April 2022.
Oh, nice. So right about the time we started Watt, right?
Yeah, right about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I missed all of our Watt stuff at the beginning because I already had all these trips planned with us. Yeah. And so, you know, when I told Jimmy I was joining, I was like, hey, I was like, what are the dates of all the important stuff? And like the first like 3 of them, I had other stuff. And I was like, can I not be there? He's like, sure, just participate. I'm like, all right. So it worked out pretty well.
But I'm glad you did, yeah.
And now she's been here for a year, which is cool. She came here to live officially in September last year. So it's been 1 year now and doing really awesome. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I remember the first time we met at that dude's house. Remember, like in Holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the first like unofficial Watt event or something.
Yeah, see, I was at that one, and then I missed like all the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, then we hooked up again in Iceland, right? Was that the next time?
Yeah, Iceland was the next time.
Dude, so that was badass.
Iceland was when like it like confirmed to me that this group is badass. You know, really, because like I was still a little bit skeptical, mostly because of the Utah thing. Like honestly, like I don't want to like, you know, I would never live in Utah again personally. You know, me and you are kind of the same vibe of like that former Mormon thing, and like, you know, just like kind of done with that. Yeah. But like I was still a little bit like, oh, how are these guys really? You know, like I don't know how everybody is, but everybody was super cool. Like, you know, whether they were Mormon or not, and just like whatever kind of lifestyle they were living, like everybody's super cool. And like I found that in Iceland, and I was like, okay, I'm all the way in now. You know,
I think the thing that kicked it off, right, is like we all showed up in the afternoon, evening, right? Did you show up in the afternoon and evening?
Yeah.
That one night, yeah. Then we ended up going to the hostel, and then it was like we saw the Northern Lights the only time we saw them. And then in a parking lot in the middle of a damn hostel, basically. So we saw the Northern Lights. Yeah. We tried to see them many other times. It's too cloudy.
Oh, no, I saw them on the boat, though.
Oh, you on the boat?
We went out on a boat. Yeah. You missed that. You saw it from the hostel because we got there early enough. So, yeah, I think I was one little stop before you.
Gotcha.
So me and some of the boys went out on the town.
Was it better on the boat?
Yeah, it was better on the boat for sure. Yeah, no offense, but
dude, whatever you saw sucked.
I know. Wow. Actually, how interesting though? Northern Lights, like the only nature picture that looks better on a picture than it does with your eyes.
I know.
Like
that's
it actually
crazy.
Accentuates whatever's going on there. Yeah. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. Yeah. Something's going on. I'm not going to explain it, but yeah, the pictures actually like they make it more clear, more bright, you know, so it actually looks even cooler in a picture than it does with your eyes a little bit.
Well, I brought my wife at the end for 5 more days. Yeah. We never saw him one other time.
Really?
The whole time. So I was there for
cloudy
like 11
and rainy.
days. Yeah.
I mean, it's November. Yeah. You know, we went out to the middle of the fucking island in those monster trucks and we couldn't even find them there dancing in the rain.
That was cool. Oh, but yeah, what I was going to say is I think the thing that like really like kicked that week off or whatever you want to call it is we all end up getting there like 10:30. We see the Northern Lights and then it was like, okay, what do you guys want to do? And like, we're like, there's a club. We're like, a club? Like, yeah, it's only open Friday and Saturday night. Like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
And we literally went to this club, about half of us, right? Maybe 20 of us.
Yeah, we had a good amount.
We had a good group. We were just
in the club.
Drinking and freaking having fun, meeting with. I mean, we didn't really meet locals. I mean, we were kind of hanging with the locals, right? But yeah, I just remember you dancing. I mean, obviously, if anyone knows Danny loves to dance, I just love vibing. So like that's why whenever, dude, I probably dance more around you than I've danced my entire life.
Really?
Like,
oh, that's awesome.
dance.
That makes me so happy.
Well, dude,
that's great. Yeah, I do. I
remember us in Spain, me, you, and Nick just freaking dancing at dinner. It's like,
yeah, dude. Maybe we were shutting shit down. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I just love it. Like, I love dancing. I love moving my body, and like, I'm not like a professional dancer or anything like that. But my thing about dancing, and it probably goes for a lot of things, like singing, for instance, that you're getting into right now. Yeah. You know, it's like with those things, like as long as you're enjoying it, it looks good. Yeah. Right. Like if you're worried about how it looks, it's probably going to look bad too. You know, like you could tell when somebody's not enjoying it or they're just trying too hard. But man, if you just go out there and act like a silly motherfucker and like, you know, just enjoy yourself, like everybody will say, oh, you're good. Because people tell me all the time, like, you're a good dancer. And like, I don't think objectively I am, but like, but I mean, I vibe and I'm like, I'm enjoying it and I'm just going to my own rhythm. I'm not copycatting dances off TikTok or whatever.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
doing your own thing.
Like, I'm just like doing however, you know, I like to move.
Which is the best way to do it. Cause like when we were in Austin, remember we went to that like concert, I guess we call it?
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Yeah, it was a concert.
I guess it was a concert, yeah.
Yeah, it was really
kind of
cool.
like, what kind of music was that? How would you,
well, I don't know. It was like some electronic, like orchestra hippie shit. I mean, it was hard to put it. Yeah. It was definitely different.
It was awesome. That's what it was. It was awesome.
Definitely different.
But yeah, so we danced there and got VIP, sat in the VIP booth, just chilled. Some of your buddies were there.
Straight up, that girl came up that was working there. Like we were just dancing in the back.
Oh,
and
that's right.
She came up and she's like, hey, I see you're dancing a lot. Like, do you and your friends want to come up to the table? And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, free table. Yeah. Right at the front. Like, okay, sweet. So see, that's the lesson there. It's
that's
just
the benefit
like,
of dance.
Go out and vibe and people will feel it and it'll usually turn out pretty damn good for you.
No, 100%. It was a great night.
Yeah.
It was a freaking amazing night, dude.
That was fun.
And then it was funny because when, you know, Mel and Kelly and I all went back to get in the RV, dude, and we had to walk like a mile, like 1.2 miles because they closed the main gates. I felt so bad for Mel. I was like, oh shit, I don't know if we should have went out. Because our buddy, so people know what's going on. Our buddy was biking across the country and we went to see him in Austin. And like first night we both got there, we're like, hey, let's go out. And Mel's like, sure. You know, because Mel's always down for a good time. And it was like, this motherfucker should be asleep right now. Like,
what he did the next day was just ridiculous too.
Because the next day is when you rode with him.
I rode with him the next day. Yeah. Ooh. So I went out there and like, you know, with pretty much zero training, but I told Mel, like before he did it, I said, hey, if you do that, then I will join you for a day and ride with you for however long I can, you know, if it's 10 miles or 100 miles, whatever, because he was doing about 100 a day, right, for 30 days. And so I said,
you knocked out a lot that day.
No, we got it in. Yeah. So the thing is, you know, that was a bad place for me to pick. I should have picked Florida, like a flat place. I should not have picked hill country in Texas because we did 50 miles, which I'm very proud of myself for because, like I said, very little training on that. I basically got on the bike at the gym for like 4 or 5 days leading up to it. Yeah. But, you know, it's like I got 50 miles in, but it was like 1,800 feet elevation gain. Like it was no joke. But you know what happened is at the last day, a bunch of the other guys from our Watt group, they joined up with him and they rode and they did 51 miles because they asked, they said, how many did Blankenship do, you know? And Mel said, we did 50. And they did 51, I guess. And then they sent it to me and I said, send me the little elevation, you know? And it was like 200 feet. I'm like, dude, I could do that backwards. Yeah. But yeah, they had to one up me. So I was like, all right, but a bunch of them.
Mel should have been smarter and told them 45 miles. And then they would have done 50 and then you would have been like,
exactly. Yeah. That would have been nice. But I felt pretty good about it. And, you know, we got cool friends. So
we do.
Everybody just goes out and dominates whatever they do, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we do, man. No, it's just a lot of fun, dude. I think it's a lot of fun when you and I worlds just collide. You know, these things like Spain was a freaking blast. Like every time we get together, it's just a blast.
Totally.
You know, it's we were talking about, so Matt Beret and I were driving down to here today, right? Because he's podcasting in the room. And we were talking the difference between the different leadership groups and kind of like ours, because ours is a very tight knit group. Yeah, it is. Know? Mm-hmm. And it has a lot to do with really vibing. Like everyone really vibes together. And then when we get together, we just expect to have a good time. Mm-hmm. You know, like when we do our 3-day Ludices or 4-day, whatever it is, 3 nights, dude, I expect to not sleep. Like I just do. I'm like, oh, everyone's asleep. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go put a couple hours in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. And then I'm like, wait, are people up? Let's go. You know what I mean? Like people are awake. Let's eat. Yeah. You know? I just love it.
We are really like full board for sure. Like so many great people. Everybody plays all out, you know, just like everybody is like really authentic and genuine too.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like anybody's like trying to like act like something that they're not right now, right?
100%.
In fact, we are trying to become things, but
but
we're not
trying to become better, but
you know what I mean? But it's like nobody's like acting like they're, you know, something totally different than what they actually are, and that's like really beautiful thing, you know, to have people like mostly take off the masks and be able to play full out and, you know, actually enjoy each other's time.
Yeah.
So
see, and there's a lot of guys like us too. We're the only two in this group that are like, you know, eccentric and fun and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's infectious. So like the more people that get doing that, I think I think it allows people to like take that mask off, you know, and just be like, all right, you know, like these guys are cool. Let me go vibe with them, you know, like when we're doing like karaoke and just like, I don't know, just dance, like turn some music on. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like when we were at that Spain, you know, that like not the flamenco, but the first one, right? With a lady that was dancing, like called me into the middle and stuff.
Yeah,
and like that was a total vibe. And like so many people told me afterwards, like that was so much fun. Like thank you for doing that. Like they were thanking me for dancing. And I'm like, cool. Like that's awesome, you know. And like everybody was like really just getting out of control there. I loved it, you know? And so it's fun that we can do that.
Yeah. I'll tell you one compliment Jimmy has paid you over and over and over again. And I love it, dude. I don't know if you've heard this before, but he always goes, if you don't like Dan Blankenship, you're the problem. Have you ever heard him?
He said that?
He said it to me like 10 times.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so he said it a lot. And because it's like,
that's cool.
Because there's another thing with us too, right? Because we're big and we're loud and we're very, what's the word for it? Like very present, like very there, you know what I mean? And some people get a little intimidated by that. Yeah. And I think people justify that being like, well, I don't know if I like him, or, you know, maybe he's too much, or blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And really it's just an insecurity inside them. And I've heard him say that before. And he said it about me too, but like it's,
I love that. Well, thank you, Mark.
It's awesome, dude.
Makes my day to hear some stuff like that. So, you know.
Well, I couldn't agree more. It's like,
but believe me, there is people, you know, but that's the funny thing. And it's probably what you're saying, but like most people I do connect with so quickly and like, you know, we really just have a nice like connection there, but there are people that really hate me right off the bat too. So there is another side, you know, they're more rare, which is fine.
It's because they don't understand you.
Yeah.
And they just don't know what to do with it. Right. Because you walk in, it's like, hey, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? And they're like, oh, what's it? Why is he so happy? It's like, because life's good, dumbass. Yeah. That's why I'm happy. You know what I mean? Why aren't you happy? Well, I don't know. You know, it's like, well, 5 questions in, I'll figure out exactly why you're unhappy. But just be happy. Yeah. Like that is the point of this whole thing. But it's one of the things I've learned the best in our group is it's like, I only have so much time to live. I really do. It's very finite. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to make every day count. Yep. And I feel like you do that. And I feel like I admire that in you. I see it so much in you, even though I know it. But then the more times I'm around you, I'm like, dude, I just love that he freaking vibes like this all the time. And it's like a constant reminder to me to just keep doing that, you know?
Yeah, thank you.
Because you live your life, you love your life, you travel. I love traveling too. I got too much financial commitments here. I got to start cutting these things off so I can do what you do. You know, and it's not like you're not financially successful either. Like you go freaking kill it and then you go enjoy your life. Kill it and enjoy your life. And it's like
totally
just a pattern people should live by. I'm like dead serious. Like people need to learn that principle.
Yeah. And I mean, I've designed my life that way, right? Like I've really tried because I know what is most fulfilling to me, bar none, there's no question, it's traveling and seeing the world. So that's my like number one thing that I want to do more than anything else. And that's what fulfills me the most. So the fact that I've got something that gives me the means to do that. So I sell solar panels, right? Go out there, sling a bunch of solar panels, help a bunch of people save money on their power bills, you know, invest in their house, help the environment, all that cool stuff. So I found something that's really cool that I believe in as well, that I can do very well. But it also gives me that flexibility, right? It's like I don't own 17 businesses, you know, like, because I know if I did, then, you know, it would definitely cut into that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. But, you know, that's how I've designed it up to this point. And it's been, you know, working for me, and I really do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I also want to say that thing about like happiness too, like, and just being so happy all the time is like, it's still a choice all the time. Right. So like, I always try and get that through to people, especially people that are like highly dealing with like maybe depression or anxiety or something like that. I always try and tell them like, hey, it's a choice. Like, even I go through like really bad, dark moments, times, right? Days sometimes, but I choose to come out and be happy and give my best effort, right? It's seriously always a choice, right? And a lot of people, they think it's just like a natural, oh, either I'm sad or I'm happy, right? Like either I'm outgoing or I'm inward or whatever. But it's like, no, you have to choose that thing over and over and over. It's just like your career. It's just like the time you give to your family, anything else. You have to keep choosing it, right? Yeah. It's not just going to magically happen, but you have to really, have the intention and put it into that. So
100%. I couldn't agree with the most true statement I've ever heard. Everything's choice, right? Everything comes down to choice.
Yep.
I'm the same way. People view me as a very happy person all the time. And I've kind of gone through the last probably 6 weeks, maybe even longer than that, where I kind of felt a little darker, you know? And like, I still chose to be happy every day, but I don't know, maybe a little bit more aware of a few things and, just like just kind of felt a little darker. And
I think it was Mercury's in retrograde or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but it really is. It's true. I've been talking about this play that I'm in recently, right? But this will come out in a few weeks.
Killing it.
I'll be done by the time this
I'm going to see him tonight.
But like people are like, you get nervous or anxious, and I was like, no. And they're like, man, that's crazy. It's crazy how you do that. I'm like, hold on. This is why I don't, though. I just choose not to. Mm-hmm. Okay, we installed this play in a week. Okay, literally, my first practice was on Tuesday. Practice on Wednesday. Shows on Thursday.
Damn, really?
Shows on Friday.
That's
it. Oh yeah. No.
Shit.
I ran through my part 3 times. The first time I ran through it, they created the choreography live, right? Mm-hmm. Based off of how I am and what I want to do, and how I want to portray the character. It's a really cool process. Mm-hmm. But so yesterday, I was telling these guys. I went up to the show 4 or 5 hours early, and I just sat on the stage, right? When I first got there, it was pretty dark, house lights were on, but like pretty dark. And I just got used to sitting on the stage because I'm like, I know I need to do this. So I chose to go up there. I just got used to it. And I was dancing, I was singing, and I'm not really that good of a singer or a dancer, quite frankly, especially when it's just me and no music.
I don't know. I love that voice. I love those moves. Let's go.
For people who come pay to see me, I'm probably
that's different.
I'm probably lacking a little bit, right? They might want some money back. But I did it. I went through my parts and I was like getting used to it. And then people started coming in. And I was kind of like, hey, check it out. I'm doing my parts. And they're like, oh, this is awesome. And like a couple guys wanted to help me and like, just kind of like do the other part of it so I could do my part and like keep the cadence and the timing. And then when it actually came for the show to come up, right? Like, there's 3,000 people out there. And it's like, I could have chose to be like, okay, this is going to be scary. I didn't. I was just like, no, I'm just going to do your lines. Right. Go there and have fun. That's what they all say. Every person back there goes, just have fun, Mark. And I think people want to discount that, but that's the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, I walk out on stage. I play Potiphar, so I'm the richest man in Egypt who doesn't give a shit about anything.
Pyramids.
Yeah, pyramids. So I just freaking walk out there, do my thing, act like I don't give a shit, blah, 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 blah. I get mad at my wife, Then she's sleeping with Joseph, so I go throw Joseph in jail, and I walk off the stage, people cheer, bam, it's over. It's 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's like, why deal with anxiety? Mm-hmm. It's a wasted emotion. I tell my kids this all the time because I'm really trying hard to make sure that their mental health and their emotional IQ is really high.
For sure.
I just say, guys, like embarrassment, it's a waste of emotion. Okay. Anxiety is a waste of emotion. The time you spend worrying about stuff, because you feel embarrassed or you feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Like it's a waste. Focus on doing it well. And the more that you do it well, the more confidence you end up having, your life ends up getting better. Don't waste your time living in embarrassment and anxiety. And do they get it 100%? I have no idea. They're kids, right? Yeah. But like, I'm going to at least beat that into them so that when they come to those moments, they can be like, my dad he just said, just go and do stuff. And then last night they got to see me, just do it.
Yep. So and it's fine to like feel emotions. Like you should feel the emotions, right? Whatever it is, up, down, sideways, light, dark, whatever, feel it. but you don't let it run how your life is, right? Like you don't let it direct the direction of your life, basically. And that's the big thing, you know, is just to be able to just overcome that and move your life in the direction that you really want it to, rather than just saying, oh, because I'm feeling bad, now I'm going to do bad, you know? And it's like, oh, I feel bad. Why? You know, feel that, see where that's coming from, and then be like, oh, how can I make that better? Yeah. Like, why would you not want to, you know? Like, definitely always try and make things better, because like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, you know, like you're always going to be able to get somewhere, you know, more comfortable for you, basically. You know,
well, normally people too, right? Like, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like when you project out in the future of how bad something's going to be, you're never right.
Right.
You're definitely never 100% right. You might be 2% right. Mm-hmm. Like kind of, you know, when we jumped off that cliff, I know you weren't there for that, right?
Sorry.
Well, it makes me angry.
That's why I wasn't there. No, I'll jump off a cliff any day, bro.
I can see you jumping
that
off.
shit. Let's go.
But like me, I went first. The reason I went first is because I didn't want to sit there and have anxiety build up and watch this over and over and be like, oh, dude, what if I back out? What if everyone thinks I'm a pussy? You know, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, no, I'm going first. Strap me up. Let's go. You know, and like, hell yeah, I was feeling anxiety.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Time. Really, the biggest kick was you have this harness on, right? And they hook 4 ropes on you, but they have tension, so they're pulling you forward. And I remember as they clicked the last ones in and I felt it, and the guy kind of smiles. I was like, oh, there's no turning back now. There's no way this dude's going to unhook me, right? And he wouldn't. I asked him after. He's like, yeah, there's no way I was going to unhook you. We don't unhook anyone. Because it's actually unsafe to unhook people.
Wow.
Like, because then you're kind of backing out of it, but you're on the edge, right? And so it clicked in and I was just like, here we go. You know, he steps out of the way. I actually kind of stepped off. You know, most people kind of jump out, but I need to get it over with, right? Yeah. So I just step off this rock and go flying down this thing, you know? Right. And then I was like, this is awesome. You know, I had this amazing experience. It was a very personal experience. I came back up. And then I was able to sit there for the next 4 hours and I had zero anxiety. I was actually able to go cheer people on and then walk around and like put my arm around dudes that you can kind of see were kind of like, oh man. Hey man, it's not that bad. I promise you. You'll really like this at the end, you know? And yeah, I understand you're feeling anxiety. I had anxiety too. And so instead of me sitting in my own shit for 4 hours and getting talked into it at the very end, I was able to flip that whole thing, have this amazing experience, and then be able to go and cheerlead everybody on, which I actually like doing. Yeah. You get a lot of fulfillment by just being like, hey man, I'm here for you. I got your back. You know, because
like, yeah, like I believe in you. I know you can do this. Like, it's so good to have somebody behind you that, you know, you can trust and that loves you and all that.
Yeah. Plus I was 340 pounds at the time. This thing ain't breaking, obviously.
Yeah, so. Right. Yeah, that was the ultimate proof. Up. So yeah. Well, hey, by the way, you're looking great. Yeah. Like, yeah, you look amazing. Where you at right now, man? Where you hovering? I'm at. So I was at 323, which was like the biggest I saw on the scale, and I was like, oh fuck, dude, I gotta get my shit together. Yeah. And so, you know, I've been making some changes, and I've been hovering around 290 right now. I've just kind of been sticking about 290. Yeah. So I want to get to about 260, 255. I feel like that'll be a good place for me, for my, you know, I'm 6'5", so I feel like that would be a good, you know, kind of.
You're very similar to me. So I started at 340. I'm 305 yesterday. I didn't weigh myself today. So I'm down 35 pounds. I've actually been hovering at 305, and I've been working out every single day. This is the first day I haven't worked out, and I will end up working out today. Yeah. This is the first day I haven't worked out in probably a month or two. I just don't miss anymore. Even if it's just a walk, I just make sure I
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. We can go for a walk after this if you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I've got 35 more pounds to go. I want to get to 270.
Okay.
And 270 for me is very lean.
Watch out, world. I know we're gonna be fucking just some confident killers. Because I'll be honest, just out there, strong and healthy and happy and confident. Oh, I love it.
Ready to take the world on.
Yes, exactly.
I'll tell you. I don't know if I said this in the podcast yet. I had a vision. So I meditate a lot. I meditate every morning.
Me too.
And so 5-10 minutes sometimes. You know. Yep. And I've done longer ones. You know, I might go up to 20 minutes, but you know, I got shit to do, so I don't have all that time. Right? Yeah. And I was sitting there, and it's something that I don't know if Jimmy said it or if I heard it on, like, I'll listen to some stoic like quote sometimes on YouTube while I'm working.
Yeah, a little bit of Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, the original boys, right?
Yeah, Epictetus is my go-to. I fucking love Epictetus. Yeah, he was born a slave and just became a badass.
And I had this thing where it said, if the God version of you came down and looked at you, what would he say? Like the Greek God, perfect in every category, just the best version of you 100%. And as I'm like basically daydreaming, meditating, like visualizing myself meeting this version of me, he just like looks at me and goes, "What the hell, man? Like, of all the good things you have in your life, you can't get your body right." And it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. And then I was on Instagram posting some stuff, because I try to put the podcast and stuff on there, right?
You do a great job.
People. Yeah, thank you. And I saw another quote that basically said, and this isn't the quote, but it's around the version of, you can't buy your body. The way you look is a manifestation of how you treat yourself or how you regard yourself.
Yeah.
And that was like the 1-2 punch where I was like, damn it, Mark, like you almost make excuses because you do well in a lot of different categories of life. You're like, yeah, but I'm a little heavy. So what? You know what I mean? And, I'm not wildly fat or anything like that, but I'm definitely out of shape. I mean, but as I'm saying this now, I'm going to end up losing 70 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So I was wildly overweight, actually. Let's be honest.
Yeah, a bit overweight. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, especially according to BMI, you need to be 190. So.
Oh, yeah. Dude, BMI
is crazy, right?
210. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 190. You're right.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like telling me I should be like 200 pounds or something. I'm like, oh, how the hell?
I think BMI falls off at about 5'9".
Yeah, that shit's fucked.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. Well, no, I mean, I agree. It's like, sometimes you get a little bit lazy, you fall into some bad habits and, I like to drink. I like to go to the bar, stuff like that. So I've been limiting that to the weekends, which has been good, And then I did make a commitment with the boys down in Lake Powell last month, by the way. So I'm a month in already of no fast food. So,
you did? Yeah. Did you doing it so far?
Yeah, dude. What do you think? You think I'm just gonna bail out on my commitment?
Actually. I know. Of course I did.
That was a serious one, and the thing, and I mean, it's a fucking battle, dude. It's surprising how much I want to go get a milkshake or a fucking cheeseburger or whatever.
Well, how much you travel?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm in my car all the time, driving around for work and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been good. So I'm a month in tomorrow, so that's cool.
So do you feel different?
I just feel like I'm mentally stronger. I don't feel different physically, not yet. I'm sure I will soon, but I'm patient about those things. I'm never that's why even though I've been hovering around 290 for a bit, I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing the work, right? Keep going to the gym, keep eating pretty healthy, limit my drinking on the weekends, like some of that stuff. Okay. And then I throw in a no fast food, which is going to make all the difference because you've seen my wife cooks me amazing food every day, right? Yeah. So she sends me off. She's a fucking saint. She's 5-star Michelin chef. Yeah. Basically, also a lawyer, but also a chef.
Yeah.
And she sends me off with this amazing food every day, right? Which is plenty of food for a person to eat in a day.
Yeah.
However, it's when you're driving all day, going from appointment to appointment, working, whatever. And you want to stop off somewhere and get a little treat, or maybe you either want to celebrate something or you want to push something down, right? It could be I want to reward myself for getting a sale and go get a McFlurry, or I want to drown in my sadness with this cheeseburger because I've had 4 people in a row tell me to fuck off, and so dealing with that is really the best part, that's the big takeaway from this, even more so than just the physical part is that mental, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I going out and getting food that I don't need to be eating right now? I'm not starving. I'm very well fed. I have all my nutrients and vitamins and, fruits and veggies and meats and everything. And so, yeah, it's been good. And it doesn't mean I'm eating perfect by any means, right? My commitment was no fast food. And of course I had to also zero in what that meant for me, which really means all those big box plate or, the McDonald's and Carl's Jr.'s and Wendy's of the world, those places and literally every single day, right? None of those. So it's I'll still eat pizza at a restaurant, whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, being able to cut that out, I know it's going to make a huge impact too. That'll probably shave another 30 off in a year. You know what I mean? So,
easy, yeah.
So I'm cool with that. Definitely. I just want to make something that's sustainable and the shit's not good anyway. So.
That's why I ask how you feel if you can tell yet.
Yeah,
it makes sense. You probably can. Yeah, I bet in 6 months though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It would be such a difference because one thing that people I don't know if they don't know this or they don't pay attention, but a lot of fast foods spray their food with flavor. Right? Mm-hmm. So like chicken nuggets at McDonald's, if you didn't have the flavor sprayed on them, they would taste like dog shit.
Yeah, right.
But because they actually put a flavoring into them, like they flavor soda, you know what I mean? Like it's addictive and it tastes really, really good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I can munch a freaking 20-pack of chicken nuggets.
No doubt. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
But the actual nutritional value in that is like really bad, you know, and I'm sure people can argue the hell out of that, but whatever. It's bad.
No, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I haven't cut it completely out fast food. Right. But I have really weaned off of that the last 4 or 5 years. And like, you do start feeling, especially when you start eating like solid food, like if you're like home cooked meals, man, like the more of those you get, it's just a night and day difference. You know, like our grandfathers, they ate meat and potatoes like every damn meal, heavy freaking meals because they were working hard. Yeah. Those dudes were skinny as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I think a lot of that has to do with they just don't have the chemicals in there and the hormones and the bullshit.
Yeah.
They were just eating they've eat what they killed.
They've messed up the food system. That's for damn sure.
Oh, in America, it's real bad.
I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's like, even when my wife first came here, she was like feeling sick when we went out to eat and stuff like that. Now she's adjusted, which is also not good. You know what I mean? It's like, it didn't take her long to adjust, but like really when she first came here, she was getting sick off of like eating out and stuff like that, you know, even at restaurants or whatever, like good places. So yeah, they definitely put a bunch of stuff in our food that is not anywhere else, which is definitely a problem. But
that's terrible.
Yeah, if you can do home cooked meals and stay mostly away from that shit, it's good. You know, it's like, and then of course I indulge on the weekend, and like it's football season now. Of course, am I gonna get a hot dog at the fucking Utah game tomorrow? Hell yeah, I am. You know,
you're
like
actually gonna get a corn dog.
A corn dog? Well, no, that line is way too long.
Is it still long?
I don't fuck with that line, dude. Every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to wait a quarter to get a corn dog, but they are good.
You got to walk up to the first person in line, right? And be like, I'll give you $20 if you buy me one. They'll just buy you one. Right. I guess I can do that. I do it all the time.
Yeah? Oh, fuck, dude. That's a baller move, man. That's why you are where you are, man. That's pretty impressive.
Because those things are
some high level
good.
Thinking. They are good, yeah. So, you know, I'll do stuff like that. I don't feel bad, but it's like, man, if I can keep that commitment of, you know, like all week long when I'm working, just like no fast food, stay away from the shit. Like I know it's going to pay off like huge dividends in the end, like, you know, mentally fighting against my mental and then also physically, like, you know, just like giving my body what it actually needs and wants rather than just like these extra desires of, you know, just bullshit to cover up feelings or whatever it is, you know, because that's typically what it is, right?
100%. Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, on my diet right now, I'm getting 250 grams of protein in every day, which is a little bit of a struggle sometimes. It's a lot of protein.
It is, yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of, I do about 100 of it in shakes, right? But then I actually eat unlimited fruit, eat as much fruit as I want. So if I'm actually like hungry and starving, I'll go cut up like 2 oranges and eat them. But I make sure that I eat the pulp and everything, right? Like the flesh. And because, you know, orange is only 100 calories. And you get a little bit of sugar in there, but you get a ton of fiber. Yep. And so it just kind of makes me feel good. Then if I ever feel lethargic, I have a probably cup of oatmeal. And that's kind of pushing me through, but I'm also taking a peptide called trizipatide. And so that actually kind of cuts my hunger.
Is it like a steroids or something, dude?
No, it's a peptide. you inject it once a week, but it actually, it's a, Nick could tell us exactly what it is. It's like it's a receptor.
Let's leave that to Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
We'll butcher it.
Yeah. So, but he, but that it hits your hunger receptor, so you never feel hungry.
I see. Okay.
So, which is kind of a little bit of a cheat code.
That's a little bit of a cheat,
but it's also like good for me.
That's the hardest part is you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do for sure. You know,
but I'm definitely building a habit. I've been on that now for probably 6 or 7 weeks.
Nice,
maybe 8 weeks. It's been a minute, right? But that's how I'm consistently losing 2 or 3 pounds like every single week. You know, and I'm killing at the gym too.
Hell yeah,
like,
you are.
Yeah, I'm not missing. And I go and I lift heavy and I work hard. I sit in the sauna.
You like elliptical ever? You ever do that? I'm a big elliptical guy.
So I haven't been doing that. So I
do elliptical for 25 to 30 and then I do like 35 to 40 of lifting.
Oh wait. Yeah. So I do 20 minutes of walking, but walking on an incline.
Yeah.
But it's more, I have back problems, right? So it keeps me very fresh in my back. It's almost like back maintenance for me, right? It gets the sweat going on, you know. I'm only burning maybe 200 calories or 250 calories, right? Because it's like 3.3 miles an hour, kind of just popping through.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I walk over and I hit the weights for 30 minutes max.
Yeah.
And I actually like working out by myself, and that's why, because it's more efficient. I go to the gym with my wife, but she'll be around doing her thing and I do my thing.
We do the same thing.
Yeah, then we meet up and we go to I try and get 15 minutes in the sauna. I can hit 20 sometimes.
It'd be nice to get in the sauna for, I need to extend my time a little bit, but we're always on a pretty tight, time frame there. Yeah. But it's like, because how I schedule my day is like, I'll get my first like solar appointment at like either 9 at the earliest or usually 10. So it's usually 10 o'clock I get my first solar appointment. So if that's the case, I have to leave. Typically, it's usually 30 minutes away. So I schedule it all like this. This is how I reverse order my mornings. So they do vary a little bit, right? So it's like, okay, 10 a.m. is my appointment. I got to leave at 9:30. My wife cooks from 8:30 to 9:30. It takes 1 hour to cook up a storm, and it's fucking amazing. So hey, thank you, wifey. I love you. Yeah. So I go, okay, 9:30, 8:30 is her cooking time / my, get ready time, right? That's where I meditate. That's where I do my affirmations. That's where I shower and just get ready for the day. Yeah. And then I know it's a 2-hour time block for the gym because it does take us 20 minutes to get there, which is kind of asshole, but whatever. So it's a 20-minute drive, and then you got like an hour and 10 minutes basically, and 20-minute back. So it's a 2-hour block. So that's how we schedule like when we're gonna wake up, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's like, if you're starting your day at 10 appointments, then that means you're gonna have that 9:30, 8:30, and then 6. So you got to be gone by 6:30, right? So you got up to 6:15.
Yeah.
You got to poop first, obviously.
Exactly.
That's
the most mad thing I've ever heard.
If you're going to have a good workout.
That's so true. You don't want to be on the brink of elliptical being like, I got to go.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of how we design. And so like, days where it's like 9 a.m., like some days we get out and do it still. Sometimes we don't. It just depends on how the day previous went or whatever. But for the most part, that's kind of how we schedule our mornings, which is really beautiful, because that's the thing is like when I do get asked about like why I'm so happy or in a good mood or in a good place, it takes a lot of work too. Like besides just the choice to do it, like we said, it's also like what gives you that like best opportunity to do it. And it's, for me, there's like 6 or 7 pillars I like to say of my happiness. And it's a good night's sleep, right? It's a workout, and then it's meditation. I do 10 minutes of meditation. I do my affirmations / my gratitude. I do that actually while I'm driving in the car. I stare at myself in the mirror and talk. And I'm pretty sure some people see me sometimes and think I'm either mad at them or they think I'm crazy. It's funny. I get people that think I'm mad at them. Like if I'm like right behind them and I'm doing my affirmations and they're right in front of me, sometimes I'll see them do this or something because they think I'm like saying something to them, and I'm like, no, I'm saying it to myself. But yeah, it's like, so it's like that full night's sleep, that exercise, meditation, affirmations. I read every day for sure. So like good books that I like, and that's pretty much it. And well, daily planning is the 6th one. I always forget that one. But yeah, it's like, I kind of have my day planned out anyway for me, which is cool. But yeah, it's like, if you can like stick to some like few things like that, and if you can get them all done in the morning first, like it's awesome. Of course, this isn't a secret sauce or anything, but it's like, man, when I get on like a hot streak of doing those things, like all of them, man, I'm like fucking impossible to stop. Right. Yeah. And when I when I slack on them, then I see the results after a bit, you know what I mean? I see like, oh, I'm not producing. I'm not as happy. I don't feel as good. Right. And so it's like, man, you really got to stick to those things, like the non-negotiables. Right. Yeah. And of course it doesn't mean I'm not perfect on by any means. I usually miss one every week or whatever, but yeah, those kind of things are cool. Like if you get them done early in the morning, it's pretty sweet. You get up at 6 and, you get all that stuff done by the time you're at work at 10, I mean, so that's pretty legit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Plus it's kind of like going along with choice, right? Like we're talking about, you choose to be happy. Well, those are also the choices, right? You got to choose to like work out, treat your body good, eat healthy, spend time with your wife. Like all these little things make you happy. You have to choose to do all of them, And and you also don't have to be perfect,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've been on a hot streak for a while now, but like, I mean, well, like, so on what day is it? Wednesday, I actually got up at 5 o'clock in the morning because my wife got up because she's a very early riser for the gym.
Nice.
And I generally go with her, but because I had this I had play practice. I needed to sleep in a little bit, but then when she left, I didn't sleep because I'm used to getting up that early. So then I was like, oh crap. So then I kind of like hung out with my kids for a couple hours because I wasn't going to see them. Long story short, I went to play practice for like 12 hours, right? Which I needed every minute of that, And I'm coming home. It's got to be flipping 9:30 by the time I was leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10. And I'm driving on the freeway and I was like, this is a perfect day for me to miss, right? Like I'm tired. Tomorrow's my first performance. I've got podcasts in the morning. I had 2 meetings in the morning for business I had to take care of. And like, I'll just do it in the morning, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to hit the exit where we normally go to the gym on the freeway and I just get off of it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like almost like my body was just like, nope, we're going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I guess I could run my lines while I'm in there, like whatever, right? So yeah, so I ended up being there like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm the only person on the treadmills, like walking.
Nice.
It's Lifetime Fitness, so it's massive.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, hell yeah. So I just put my headphones in, and I put the Potiphar song on and just start saying my lines loud, pyramids, meant that I could really live in style, And then I started lifting weights. I just kept on doing my lines, and I went down to the sauna. No one was in there. Did my lines again.
Yeah.
Got home at midnight, And my daughter was in bed with my wife, and I was like, and I was so happy to see her. I was like, screw it, I'll just sleep with her in here. So I got kind of a crappy night's sleep. So then in the next morning, I didn't really feel like going to the gym. You know what I mean? So then I had these business meetings really early, and so I slept in a tad. But then I was like, oh, screw it. So I got done these business meetings, and I went to my house. I have a gym in my house too, so I worked out there, got it in, and then went up to the play, and it just ended up working out that I was able to accomplish everything, but but if I wouldn't have gone to the gym that night, I would have missed like probably 2 days in a row because I would have kept on blaming the play, right? Yeah. Even today, right? I've got to get a workout in before I go to the play because after the play, we're going out tonight.
Hell yeah.
So I don't have time to go to the gym after it, you know what I mean? And I plan on being out late.
Yeah, so exactly. So you better get the gym in.
Yeah. So as soon as I'm done with this, we're going back to the house. I'm going to go work out in the gym. Take a shower,
all right.
To play.
I like that.
And also at this point, dude, like I don't need to be that early today because I've already done it. So there's no.
I mean, you're basically a seasoned vet now. Like I heard New York's calling right now. Like
we'll see. Yeah, the word's getting out. We got this guy that can't sing, but damn, he can act.
Can't wait to see you on my next New York trip, dude. I'm just gonna be like, oh, Lion King looks pretty good. I'll be like, oh, who the fuck is that?
Oh, Mufasa, it's
Mark. is that Mark playing Scar?
yeah, actually, Scar would be much better.
Yeah, I think Scar fits it.
You.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Scar fits the vibe, dude. You can be a little bit villainous if you wanted to.
I could. I actually, every time I picture myself in movies, it's always as a villain.
Really?
Well, we're so big, right? So like, it's so easy to like be a villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Tom Cruise, like a 5'5"
big
guy.
and intimidating.
Yeah. Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Right. So everybody's half your size.
Yeah. Did you know Matt Bray was in a movie?
He was?
Yeah. He plays, it's a short movie, I think. I have to tell you about it. I think it's only 40 minutes long or something, but
that's cool.
He's a child sex trafficker, evil guy at the end.
Oh, jeez.
So I think he's got 2 or 3 minutes of screen time. But it's like the end of the movie. He's a menacing, evil bro. So what happened is a guy, because he's a real estate agent for people that don't know him, a producer called him up and said, hey, I need a house that we can film at that's for sale that fits this criteria. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, perfect. So he finds a couple of them, right? So they get the director and the producer together and they go drive to these houses. Well, Matt's just Matt, just being charming and British and
just being a British, just being a bloody bloke.
The guy's like, you're the guy. Like, I need you in this movie.
Like, actually, you seem like a really great bad guy too.
Perfect house. Let's take it. And you're going to be in this damn thing. And Matt's like, yeah. That's
cool.
Which is another reason, like, I love that about people. Just say yes.
Yeah.
Why would you ever say no to that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That would be stupid.
It's just an awesome story. Like, I want to be 80 years old with all my bros and just being like, you remember when we did that crazy shit like 100 times? Not once, like 100 times.
Yeah, it wasn't just once. Like it happened over and over again.
Like, we really lived.
Yeah, definitely.
I also think, if there's a heaven and we're all up there and we're talking about our earth experience, it's like, you don't want to be like, I just obeyed every rule and
that sounds pretty boring.
Went to work every day and came home and watched American Idol and ate spaghetti and went to bed. Like, boring as hell.
Yeah, right.
Like your life is boring as shit. Be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Bill Gates because at least he screwed the world over. You know what I mean?
At least it was excited when he was fucking everybody.
He's like, it was kind of evil, 4 million years ago. I've changed, or whatever. I just kind of see that playing out. It's kind of funny.
I like that. You definitely, you got to live your life. You got to have a good time
and live it.
Yeah, you got to just do what fulfills you and chase that. Like, don't chase somebody else's dreams. Don't just fit into somebody else's expectations of what your life should look like. Right?
And don't sit at home and be boring either.
Yeah, don't do that either.
You wasted your life if you sit at home and be boring. I don't give a shit what excuse you give yourself.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. You don't have that because you don't give a shit. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like if you give enough shits, it'll come, you know?
Yes.
Like, it'll definitely come. Like the work always pays off, no doubt.
I do not understand why people don't look at your life and be like, I want that. You know, not everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because you need to be an individual. You
Right.
need to worship you, right? But like, Dan, I mean, follow your Instagram. It's like, hell, where's Dan today? Holy shit. He's in Argentina. Oh shit. Oh, he's back in Portland doing some fun shit.
Yeah.
2 weeks later. Hell, he's in Antarctica. How'd he get there? Dan, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. You know,
Actually,
what I mean?
you know, that you're right about that. Like, you know, I wonder too, because I have friends that'll be like, oh, I live vicariously through you, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why don't you just do it? Like, you know, like you literally know the pathway, like just do it, right? I'm like, you can come work with me. I don't give a shit. Like, come work with me. I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll show
Why
you how
are we
to like
acting-
make a bunch of money and then be able to do what you want with your time, you know?
Yeah,
like,
people are acting like it's hard to do. It's not hard to do. Guys, it's really not hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you got 5 or 7 kids at home, it makes life a little harder. So don't do that.
Yeah. Also, don't make 5 or 7 kids if you're having a hard time with all that. So yeah, that's another lesson to be learned. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I look at my life too, and like, I'm in the prime zone for midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't have a midlife crisis. Like, I'm not looking back and being like, oh, I've wasted some time. I got to make some time up. I'm like, now I look back and be like, the last 10 years were dope. I'm gonna double that in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm not like regretting my life and I have to go buy a freaking Corvette.
Yeah, right.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so true.
I just think people miss the point of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you believe in God or not, right? You're really to come down here and experience this thing. That is what we're here for.
Yeah.
And you just have a choice. I mean, you have a choice, right? We keep on saying this over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just true. Like you can choose to do whatever you want. But if you don't, whatever. I don't know, skip this podcast, go to the next one. Go listen to some damn self-help book. And that'll get you there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not. Hey, man, there's some good ones, though.
There's some good self-help books.
There are some
but
good
once you
ones.
read them, go out there and
go do it. Yeah, go make it happen.
I was kind of on a kick from the podcast earlier. I was like just bashing the hell out of self-help books. And my thing with it is, I think, Dan, you'd agree with me, right? It's just go do your life. Enjoy it. You know, how many times you got to read a book that says go do it?
Right.
Just go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you watched the movie Secret Life of Walter Mitty, right?
No, I haven't seen that one. No.
Oh, you need to see that one. It's good.
Okay.
It talks.
Who's in that again?
It's Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Ben Stiller, and then that skinny chick from SNL's in it.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, so he's basically, he goes to, it's not a dead end job. It's a decent career. He works at National Geographic, right? But Sean Penn's out there, and he's like this famous, mysterious like photographer. And he sends the pictures in to Ben Stiller's character, and he like produces them and puts them on the National Geographic. And I can't remember exactly all the details. I need to watch it maybe again. I really like it. But it's either the photographer's last picture or like the magazine's getting shut down, but like it's like coming to an end, right? His job. And he's looking back, and I think he's like in his late 40s in the movie, the character. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I have literally lived vicariously through this dude his whole life. I've never done these things. So he doesn't get the very last negative, and then he has to go find him. So he like literally, but he has this amazing imagination. It's kind of like the thing with it, right? So his imagination kicks in all the time. He's in love with a girl, but he's too scared to go talk to her. But she kind of likes him, but you know, he won't make a move. So screw him, right? She's got options.
Yeah.
So then he starts going to find Sean Penn. And then he's up in Iceland, and he's like all over the world basically throughout this whole movie. I won't ruin the movie for you because I want you to see it. But it's showing like how he just started choosing to live life, and then he started having all these cool experiences, and never thought he'd do it. Then he kind of becomes a better person.
Yeah. Instead of just doing like the expectations, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
get up, have a coffee, go to work, go home, watch TV.
Yeah, or even like what you do with your money, you know? I mean, that too, right? It's like, you know, some people think that they have to buy a house, or they have to, you know, do this or that, the other. And it's like, man, you got so many different choices. You can do whatever you want. You can put that wherever you want, you know? Like you can put it into your favorite meals. You can put it into traveling. You can put it into, you know, a fitness coach, whatever you want to do. Like you can do that. Yeah. But a lot of people are like, oh shit, I gotta get married, have kids, have a job, buy a house, and fucking die. You know, it's like, damn, dude, that's wild. Like, I don't want to do that.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah. It's like, man, I want to do it a little bit differently. You know, like I want to do what actually fulfills me, and that's like I say, I found that I want to keep doing it. So
yeah,
works out pretty well.
That's great, dude. So my friend, we're at the end of the podcast.
Hell
and
yeah.
I asked everybody for their best 2 minutes of advice. So I want from you, I'm going to do a little bit different, a little more specific. I want you to give the Dan Blankenship version of how to live a life.
Okay, so my version of how to live a life. Well, like I said, my version of live a life is to be open, be understanding, always look for more things to learn, no doubt. I think that's huge, right? Like I'm a huge learner. You know, I always want to learn new things from books, from podcasts, from movies, from people, from my mentors, from the coworkers that I work with. I'm always trying to learn more stuff. So definitely be open to learning. And then, just follow your true passion, you know, and however you can make that work, right? Like I said, my true passion is traveling. I love to travel. My wife loves traveling too. That's why we hit it off. That's why we're married. We're like, hey, this is what we love to do. Let's do it together. Yeah. You know, so like find something like that for yourself and for your spouse where it's like, hey, this is what really drives us, and figure out how to do it all the time, you know? So that's my version of how to live life, you know, learn, be open-minded, go travel, or, you know, whatever it is for you. Just lean into the things that you really love the most.
Yeah. Perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, this is your first podcast.
This is my first podcast. Yeah.
I'm really honored to have you on.
Thanks, man.
So you're one of my favorite people, dude.
I love you. You're amazing.
So, I love you too, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the President McCormack Podcast, brought to you by McCormack Foundation, Saxton Fund, ADP Lemco, and Professional Floor Systems. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and keep up with Mark on Instagram @President McCormack.